Maria Bano, your host for HYIERI-Australia. I look forward to bringing insightful conversations, dynamic speakers, and thought-provoking discussions to our growing international audience. Stick around to find out more. And it is my privilege to engage with our distinguished guest on the most pressing intellectual and societal question of our time, and particularly one of the most critical challenges of our era, that is thoughtful intelligence in an AI persuaded world. Artificial intelligence rapidly reshapes how we think, how we decide, how we communicate, and even how we perceive the truth. An important question emerges: are we becoming more intelligent or simply more influenced? And it is my privilege to engage with our distinguished guest, Musarrat Jabeen. She is a postdoctoral scholar from Cardiff Business School, where her groundbreaking research focused on thoughtful intelligence, a practical guide for moral development. She earned her PhD in international relations from the University of Karachi and has devoted over 3 decades to academia, research, and policy engagement. She has also served as professor at the NDU, the National Defence University, and currently continues her academic leadership at RIPA International University. As the founder and president of the Avalene platform of thoughtful intelligence, she has developed an interdisciplinary framework that integrates moral reasoning, systems thinking, sustainable development, and ethical leadership. With over more than 50 research publications in internationally recognized journals, including work on climate change, energy, governance, and moral development, Dr. Jabeen's scholarship brings international relations with ethical consciousness. Her book, Thoughtful Intelligence, A Practical Guide for Moral Development, has been recognized for its academic contribution for ethical and sustainable decision-making. So we are honored to have Professor Dr. Musarrat Jabeen join us at the HYIERI Institute to share her profound thoughts and insights on the thoughtful intelligence in an AI persuaded world. My first question for you would be, how do you define thoughtful intelligence and in contrast to artificial intelligence, and why is this distinction increasingly important in the world shaped and persuaded AI?
It's a great question. Thoughtful intelligence is a higher order of thinking. It is a capacity to understand the impact of one's words, actions on the other individual, the other group of people, or the other nation in terms of time and space. So I would like to highlight thoughtful intelligence with 2 perspectives. One is that each action of the human beings contributes into the sustainability of this planet, and it becomes possible while determining when a human being determines its cosmic value. So it gives us the 4 perspectives or the 4 dimensions of every human being. One is that how we have the relationship with ourselves, self-relations. Second is the relationships with the human beings. Third is with the nature. And the fourth is with the creator. Now, with due apology, in all this, we more emphasize the self, maybe sometime the human relations. Least of that is the nature. If you see all the economic development and the things like that, over which the capacity of artificial intelligence reels, that speaks about the consumption. And that creates the disbalance. Regarding the 4 dimensions of every human being and regarding the sustainability or of the production and the consumption of the natural resources. So in that way, the AI, for me, that is specific to the systematic alteration of the human perception, attention, memory, or judgment caused by algorithmic mediation of information environments. While the thoughtful intelligence comprises of the realization of the impact of one's actions on the 4 dimensions simultaneously. So AI has a very small perspective, and the thoughtful intelligence has a bigger perspective. Number 2, the point is that this AI is again very much dependent on the input by the human beings. Now, once it is, the capacity of the human beings is shrunk because of the influence, as you said in the beginning, because of the influence of AI. So you just see that the human input into those systems over which AI is dependent is, of course, impacted by the least capacity of thoughtfulness of the human beings this time.
That does make a lot of sense. And my second question would be that in an AI persuaded world, like as you have mentioned, there are algorithms everywhere, and the algorithms shape opinions and choices and behaviors. How can we, as individuals and societies,
Mhm.
safeguard human agency and like critical thinking and moral judgment? Because we have like so much going on and so much impacting our decision, our choices, and our opinions. But how do we safeguard our individuality, or um, human agency, or critical thinking?
Thoughtful intelligence literacy we should promote at individual level, at whatever level we can do, we should do. And of course there should be some chance that we get to know that at higher level, that how we can propose to them that for the change in the policy, that at least thoughtful intelligence should be taught in every university, in every institution. I can design, I mean the people can design the programs for thoughtful intelligence at primary level, at tertiary level, at higher education, at policy level, everywhere. I mean we need to do it, because our four dimensions, we have not kept the balance in them. We have taken only self. At some extent we have taken the society, but the nature is totally ignored, and we are accountable to that also, because we do not take care of the nature. I mean, you just read this capitalism theory of Adam Smith, like that. One thing we must admit, that before writing The Wealth of Nations, Adam Smith, he wrote the book of the moral sentiments, but we never go for that. What is that? So what is morality? What are the ethics? What is thoughtfulness? So we have ignored that. So we may start, but of course, once we think that we can start, so things can be done. The other thing is that how the thoughtfulness can be realized or taught to the AI developers. So it's like that the AI is impacting the all users of information technology. I mean, whatever the end users, I mean, the policy makers, the politicians, the engineers, the doctors, and the people like me at home, things like that. So it is everywhere going on. So in the same way, the remedy should go from everywhere. I mean, everybody should be realized that what impact I create or I contribute in the project of the universe.
And I feel like individual responsibility, as you have said it really sums up what we can do at this stage. Because taking our submissions to higher authorities for policymaking and legislative action is something that we can do at a later stage. But right now, what we have control over is our individual action. And being more
Yes.
conscious, being more reflective, being more thoughtful about our actions is something we can definitely incorporate in our daily life. Thank you
Yes.
for your answer. I feel like it really encompasses everything that should be said about it. And the question would be, we talked about politics as well. We talked about how legislative action needs to be there, how policy change needs to be there. My question related to that is, to what extent do you think that AI simplifies existing power symmetries in politics, in media, in global governance, and how can thoughtful intelligence act as a counterbalance?
AI does what the human beings uh, put into that. They just process. They are the systems to see or to analyze the existing data which is given to them, and on the basis of that they give the decision. So it is very much limited. I mean, as compared to the thoughtful intelligence or human intelligence, the natural intelligence. But the human intelligence, unless it is not utilized, it is poorer to those existing data machines. So we must need to create the thoughtfulness among the human beings. So then there is a chance, number one, that they will give a better input to the AI systems. The other thing is that once I was in the field to interview the AI developers, they said that, "Ma'am, we are just helpless. Our toppers, our CEOs, they give us the policy, or they give us the decision that you have to produce that, and we are helpless. They pay to us and we perform to that." And then I thought that what can be the chance, any chance to change it. They said that it is, the policy makers, they take the decision on the basis of the consumption patterns and the decision patterns of the end users. Because if I would like to see a comedy video, like on YouTube, let's say, so they will be recommending me different comedies. Regardless of that it is a dark jokes or illegal jokes or immoral, I should say, immoral jokes. So AI is helping me that what I want, what I desire. So AI has no morals, no ethics, no sensibility in that sense. But if otherwise, if the user, the demand patterns are managed, or they are organized by thoughtful education, so of course then there would be a change. Once we would like to change the higher education practices, so always emphasize three things: the management capacity building, the students capacity building, and the teachers capacity building for better results. We all do that. So in the same way, AI, if you would like to utilize it, so the managers, the users, and the faculty means that the AI developers. So in the same way, all of them, they need to be changed.
AI, as we see it, it often prioritizes speed and optimization and efficiency. And how can thoughtful
Yes.
intelligence recenter ethical? Like we talked about how, like, if you look for comedy, it would give you dark jokes, it would give you immoral jokes. It does not have an ethical boundary and an ethical line that it does not cross. So how can thoughtful intelligence recenter ethical reflection, empathy, and responsibility in decision-making processes of AI?
The counter word for efficiency is sufficiency. If there are two columns, one is headed by AI, the other is headed by TI. So the TI goes for sufficiency, not for the efficiency. The real soul of capitalism was, and would be definitely is, the frequency and speed of the usage of natural resources, of all resources, anytime. Because what they need, that I met recently I met a AI developer, and he said, ma'am, that on 24 hours we are on emergency call. I go, what is that? Why it is that? Nobody's dying like in the hospitals. It's a emergency call. No, they said that all the AI developers around the world, 24 hours they are on call, that if the other contender, they increase their speed in the delivery of services, the AI basically gives the service. So what they have done, and we have to do that more than that. Now, while trying to do that, there is a overconsumption. I will give two simple examples. That what the demand is made about, that of course the end user is of course asking for some delivery of certain things, certain items, certain maybe the dresses, the jewelry, or whatever the ways and means for the comfort the human beings have developed. And secondly, I've gone through certain data that the AI systems around the world, they are very much dependent on energy. Like even the ChatGPT, very common, used by everybody. And these data machines, they use a lot of energy, right? So once we speed it up, so you just see that it is the ignorance of the nature and of the creator, because the creator, what has given that the idea is given that since the day one, once, all the history of human being, everybody knows that the day comes, the night comes, sun comes, moon comes. This is very much natural, everybody knows. And what we were doing according to that, we were doing that by following the nature, we were doing the agriculture, we were doing our social life and everything. But that now everything is happening at night also. So my point is this, that the unthoughtful decision for the first time in the recent history of human beings is taken when the human beings decided to have the 3 shifts of their work instead of 1 shift. Because originally there should be only 1 shift of work, that is of 8 hours, not of 3 shifts of 8 hours each. And that means that we triggered the consumption of the natural resources. Now, natural resources means, here I mean the natural, exactly the existing, the water, the air, or energy, whatever. Even the human beings, they are, that because of globalization, the people are very much overutilized by the other people. You know that the thoughtful intelligence exists itself everywhere. AI exists somewhere else and practice it somewhere else. And because of that, you know that the restless cities, they have come into being. And for me, it is the great social disorder that the people, they sleep at day and then they get up at night, and for the whole night, you know that the energy is over consumed. Then our circadian cycles, which are established by the nature, they start to work by 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. in the morning. The science says so, it's not me. So because of that, the nocturnals, which play or which work at night, because of nothing. For example, if I have a commitment with you to do certain job with you in Australia or in America somewhere else, because of that, I should not accept that, but that can be a source of income for me. So I have a certain thing to compromise. But I'm sorry to say this night culture is appreciated. So it has become a social value to get at night and to sleep in the day. So, and because of this is a unthoughtful behavior. We are creating social disabilities or social destabilizing factors in the society, economic destabilizing factors, and the overall project where I say what is my cosmic value? My cosmic value tells me that I should sleep at 10 and I should get up in the morning to work like that. Like so, I mean, even in different religions, I have been in America or like in Beijing. So this is a wrong practice, which is unthoughtful, and it does not create a balance with our four dimensions: self, human beings, nature, and the creator. So there is a disbalance. So AI promotes this disbalance because she will not ask you that the food panda should come to your place or not. Because once you ask, they will give you even more than choices of food panda. Like that, I mean, who is going to deliver you the food and which sort of food? This is better. This is better. So this is everything is, I mean, human desire driven. Which was already existing there, and with the coming of AI, it has been expanded so far. So because of this, the echo chamber effect has been created. That I mean, if I see a video, as I told you earlier, the YouTube will be recommending me something more, and at the same time, the attention fragmentation has happened. I mean, if you ask a question at 1 p.m. Or 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. in the morning to ChatGPT, she will not question you that why you are asking me this, sleep. But otherwise, I remember that when we were young, we asked certain question to our elders. It was not possible to do that, and naturally, the practice was going on there. So the point is this: that the people who are using AI or who are developing AI or who are making the policies regarding AI, they all the thoughtless behaviors. So the same thing happens with that. So AI can behave very better, I mean, in a very good, nice way, if we become thoughtful. Because finally, human beings are organizing it, human beings are using it, human beings are creating it.
I agree. Yes. Now, like following up on what we have just discussed, how human beings are just have developed it, they're using it, they're taking it forward. It's the human beings' own behavior that have been amplified with AI and artificial intelligence. My next question would be how, because this comes in from a very young age and it's fairly new, artificial intelligence at such a large scale and available to such a large population is fairly new. So, what do you think can be implemented in schools and universities by professors and teachers to ensure that there is a thoughtful part in it, there's a thoughtful process in all this AI use?
So, for example, the point is this, that if we take and if we realize that this is a good thing to promote thoughtful intelligence, so the situation is like that with due apology, because I gave you in the beginning the example of USA, that this is the most powerful country of the world. And even Trump is not realizing that what he utters or he speaks regarding this climate change withdrawals, what impact it will create on the whole planet, on the third world country, even country. It doesn't. right? So my point is that if at this level, if you realize that I have established my company, that this is called Avlin Platform for Thoughtful Intelligence. So regarding everything, I speak, particularly I speak on this topic of mental hygiene, with social perspective, with the economic perspective, with medical perspective, because we really need it, because this is the high time. The humanity has never experienced. There's a whole broad range of information, but there is least education to process that education, that information. Our cognition systems, they have become numbed. Even the AI makes or creates certain facts that we are even we start to doubt the reality, right? So we start to doubt the reality because we have lost our own capacity of thinking. There is a decrease in thinking that is quite alarming, because once we don't think, so that is the basic or the foundational capacity of human being, not of me, of every human being. If we just classify this water plantation, my story, my knife story regarding this development, water, plants and animals, and then the human being. So the man is having the maximum consciousness, is the most reflective creation. So, if they lose this sensibility of reflection, of consciousness, so then you see that then only the individualistic perspectives will be taken on and not the others. So, but we can do that at my point. My institution is doing this, and then of course I have developed the thoughtful intelligence courses that can be taught at all levels. The only thing is that it is not a big deal to understand. My book is also available in the market, but otherwise, it is not a big deal to understand the thoughtful intelligence. Once you know it, you can apply it everywhere. And it is the realization, because realization in a sense that for what I came into being. Simple story, not it is a Muslim, Hindu, Christian, Jew. It's every human being is created, in which sequence, and what is the purpose to contribute in the sustainability of the existence of this planet Earth, and how we can contribute. So we can contribute by creating the balance. The real challenge is that we have disbalanced. In the four dimensions, we only taken one, that is the individualistic, maybe sometime the social, and nature is never there, and the creator is almost not there. Maybe indirectly it is, we realize that there is some creator of this project, but we don't realize. Realization means that we must be thankful to that creator most of the time, and the way to thank the creator is to utilize it amicably, that we are not doing. Nobody is doing. Everybody is consuming over, and you see that once I visit that people, there are at the same moment 10, 12 meals present on the table, or the different dishes, things like that. Even one is sufficient. Even science says that inside us, the enzymes which are created, they can appropriately digest one meal. So we one diet, sort of, if we are taking lentils separately, that is okay. If we take meat or protein or fruits, it is at one time we should take one food, but we take each just one spoon, this from this dish, the other spoon from the other dish, the other from the other dish, and we are consuming a lot. So the basic challenge to the humanity is the disbalancing, and the man is not realizing the contribution to the system of the universe. And so because of this, there is it happened because there is a decrease in thinking, that otherwise we were sometime thinking, like I had some of my PhD students, MS students, or I wrote certain research papers. So I tried to sit some time to contemplate that what I will be doing and things like that. And if it happened, my mindset was working for that. But now the students, what they do, that they just go to the ChatGPT or many other options. So there is no practice of the mental capacity, and you know that nobody can deny my this argument that if I'm sitting here, I have a certain mindset and certain behavioral patterns which are very much different to all the human beings existing everywhere, and only few of them they have given the input into the AI system. So how come that it can say that? So AI is, of course, it is a machine, and finally, I must say that artificial is artificial, and
That is
thoughtful
true.
is a human intelligence. Man is the perfect creation. I mean, nobody's can be better than this. So how can be the AI better? And scientifically also, they are. I mean, nobody can deny my this argument that AI is dependent on TI. TI means the human beings what they think. I mean, AI cannot do anything unless it is getting some data from me or you or many other human beings, and it is creating a
Yes,
combination only out of that. So the rest is not there. So,
it's
and
just
that's why
replicating.
AI is creating and enhancing the imbalance in the four dimensions. It is creating imbalance between the developed and the developed countries. It is creating imbalance between the human qualities based on morality and descending to the animals, to the plants, or to like that. I mean, they don't have the consciousness. They don't have the capacity to act. And the human beings. I mean, the basic thing is that the human beings are accountable regarding their actions and the beauty of actions.
Thank you for so comprehensively explaining everything, and I fully agree with the point that thoughtful intelligence is something that that is an individual responsibility, and it should also be implemented at the political and legislative level. But as an individual responsibility, as individual users of AI, as people individually interacting with AI and using it in our daily life,
Yes.
we should be
Even I would like to
incorporating.
add that whoever is affiliated to AI, maybe the policymakers, the developers, or the end users, all of them they should have the knowledge of thoughtful intelligence to use it in a better way, to get its more utility. Believe you me that if we are equipped with the thoughtful intelligence, we would be able to better use AI. I mean, with more benefits, definitely.
Indeed, indeed, I agree, strongly agreed. With this note, we would be concluding our session for today. We are really grateful to Dr. Musarrat Jabeen for being
Pleasure.
here today,
Pleasure.
and I hope it was a fruitful session for everyone attending and viewing it at their places. And until we meet again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you. Goodbye.